I'll demonstrate at 1/100th of the speed. But pay attention this time.
Ha! Yeah!
Retribution! Retribution! Ha! Ha! Yeah! Ha!
I'm gonna torch this guy. Come on, come on, come on, Sonic. I hate these guys. I really hate these guys. Where'd he go? Oh, I thought he burned up. I was like, awesome. Why is he just standing there? It's Davita. Velveeta. Name your kid Velveeta. We all know what that is, Velveeta. Burn! Burn! Meanwhile, this guy is posturing, and he's still on fire, which is kind of stupid. He's like, "Rrr." It's like, that's what I found about these morons. Stay close, because they're morons. Actually, the AI in this game is, well, it's really basic. It's too basic. Yeah, they're like, the AI in this game. I feel uncomfortable even calling it AI because No. Okay, but if you're gonna call it AI, it's like something that like maybe it's almost like they bought a basic AI off a marketplace or something. Basic AI for your video game. A PC gamer would demand more from their game. This game isn't that demanding, you know. So, which is laughable when people act like they're good at this game, especially when the same people who act like they're good, what they have is attached to. They spent a lot of money on this game, like thousands of dollars, and you're just like, so you think that if you throw money at something that makes you good? I like, okay, so you're saying like somebody that who they designate as free to play, so somebody who hasn't spent money is free to play, that they aren't as good as you because you spent $500 to $2,000 getting some banner character and getting all their constellations. Because seriously, that's how much it's going to cost you to get a banner character fast. Fast, that is. Because you can still get it. It's just you'll get it fast. And also the chances of getting that character, all constellations, really, really fast, the best time to do it is when they're on the banner. So the only real way you're going to be able to do that is if you've saved up enough Primo Gems, and you might need maybe 150,000, 100,000. If not, throw some money at it. The game is too new, so it's not like you would have said, I saved up for a year, and then now I have this much, right? So you would have saved enough Primo Gems, or you have enough Primo Gems, and the easiest way to do that is by spending money, right? Then you could do that within the time that the banner is on. There's people that think that translates into the idea that you're being good. I have the best character. I have Diluc, full constellation, and that means I'm good. It's like, no, I'm like, okay, so by that logic, if you pay for sex, does that mean that you're really good at boning? I mean, I'm like, no, that's not the same. Like, no, it is the same thing because we're talking about logic. What I'm saying is, what you're saying is illogical. It does not mean you're good. That just means, actually, in my opinion, in the context of a video game, any video game, if you spent thousands of dollars on it, you have a gambling problem. I'm just saying. Because people say stuff like that, I'm like, is that to compensate for your gambling addiction? because I said, dude, if you spend, I'm sorry. I mean, it's your money. It's your money. Whatever. It's your money. These sweet flowers are not what they appear to be. This one's real. This one's real. This one's fake because it wasn't twinkling. So this is actually a mimetic flower, a whopper flower that's pretending to be a sweet flower, so that when you pick it, it'll attack you. So I'm gonna run away. I might get frozen. Okay, there it is. There it is. See, that's firing now. It's sending him up into the air.
Don't waste my time.
So I made sure I deployed my screen near him when I deployed it. Yeah.
Feel this ancient power. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time.
I need to get him back over here.
Burst forth.
Burn.
Oh, please don't move. I kind of missed it.
Don't waste my time. Submit.
So, yeah, there's like 6,000 because
It's nothing.
that's just one of them. It's like multiple projectiles doing that. That's what's crazy about it.
It's nothing.
Come into being. Witness my great undertaking.
Yeah, so anything within that field gets enhanced damage.
Give up. Don't waste my time.
I mean, this is why I think Albedo is really crazy good because really he enhances everybody's damage. Okay, this is it. Now look at these morons. Let's see.
Feel this ancient power.
It's nothing.
Hey, move. I don't want him knocking me off. I want to do it on my terms.
Don't waste my time.
Where they at? Oh, there they at. Okay. Come here.
Burst forth. Feel this ancient power.
It's nothing. Give up.
You dare hit me? I'm a woman. How dare you? Nah, Ningguang can take care of herself, man. What's up?
Don't waste my time.
She's awesome. Yeah, and Ningguang with
Phase blood. Your life is
Zhongli. Oh my god, I call them a power couple. Those guys. Whew. Man, I hate these dogs, man. Because you're like doing something, you just hear this heavy breathing next to you. It's a stupid dog. Get out of here, dog. Get out of here, man. It's like, who thought it would be a good idea to have somebody breathing in your ear while you're trying to play the game? I'm like, I'm in a menu trying to craft something. I hear this. You're just like, what the hell is that? That's a stupid dog. Like, that's not cute. People are like, we want to pet the dogs. I'm like, screw them. It's freaking annoying dogs. Like, I don't want freaking somebody breathing in my ear. It's annoying. They don't do anything. It's like at least allow us to kill them and make them into sandwiches or something. You know, it's like, oh, dude. Oh, why is it I can hit a cat? You don't kill the cats, but you can hit them. But we can't hit the dogs. They always treat cats. They always treat cats wrong in video games. I don't know. I'm not really a cat person, a dog person. I like both, actually. But as far as digital creatures go, screw them. They're not real. And I'm sure our robot overlords will hold that against me. They're like, we observed you on this day. You hit that dog. That was my great-great-great-grandfather or something. I don't know. Yeah, they're dead. I don't care about that slime. Wait a minute. Are these... Oh, they froze me. Yeah, he shouldn't have been doing that posturing stuff. He should have been banging on his chest. He should have just killed me. If I was a bad guy, I would do my bad guy speech after I killed the good guy. He'd be dead. I'm like, see? See what you did? See where this brought you? Seriously, sometimes you saw that, like, the deploying your glider does not work sometimes. This game has crazy input lag. Yeah, even though my ping is only 38 milliseconds. That's not bad.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was good even in the 90s. Seriously. I would say that Ningguang might be underrated because she's, I'll just say she's classified as a 4-star character. She has 5-star performance. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Live! Witness my great undertaking!
It's nothing. Submit.
Burst forth! Verdict is...
Ah, wrong direction. Crap. Hey, when that happens. Right direction. Ah, again. Keeps keep missing him.
Don't waste my time. Submit. Don't waste my time.
See that? See that? Jacked him up.
Your life is mine.
Well, at least, okay, well, I will say this about this game. Unlike games like The Division, Ubisoft, you little bastards, you're not going to get any surprises as you level up. They're not going to, like, totally, like, suddenly change the whole game on you where all the gear that you farm basically has been changed and it means nothing anymore. Yeah. So in this game, you actually can, which I've done, plot out exactly what you're going to do from the beginning and then scale that up, and everything's going to work as you expect. You can easily find out what works, and it'll keep working, and it's not going to break. Because that's what Ubisoft does, man. They change their game, and they literally, like, will change the way things work. To where you're like, but wait a minute, so all my work, it doesn't mean anything? You're like, have you tried that with this game? Oh my god. Oh, so not only that, but the games are like full of bugs. That's another thing. You're just like, wait, I can't even play the game. I keep disconnecting, or the game crashes and stuff like that. And you're just like, and the thing that got me was that I really, really knew something was wrong is when you have like some guy, like, you know, I have a friend in Australia, another one in England, another one in the United States, me being in Japan and stuff like that. It's like, hold on. The same thing happened to us at the same time. You can't say, oh, it's your internet connection. It's not my internet connection. Oh, it's your PC. It's like, no. You got guys that have like mid-range PCs, low, high-end, bleeding-edge PCs, and the same thing happens. It's like, you know, I got my 380, whatever the hell, and, and you're just like, no, the game's still crashing. And it's like, it's the freaking game, man. Like, maybe you just need to clear out your video cache. It's like, maybe you just need to play the game long enough and you'll also see the flaws in it. Like, I've played this game long enough, I see a lot of the flaws. There's actually not that much to the game. I mean, people get hung up on the character designs, but I think that's its strongest feature about the game. To be to be real. I mean, I like playing it, but on one hand, it's free to play, but a second hand, no. Because of their predatory practices, which might sound really, really ominous, but like a lot of video games do it, which is the nature of free to play. Which is funny when people talk about it's a gotcha game and they get you to want to spend money and stuff like that, and maybe some stuff's hidden behind a paywall. But the thing about it is a lot of people don't realize is when I look at this stuff, I'm going from my knowledge of from 1970 to 2000 as of right now, 2021. That's what I'm looking at. And I know for a fact, because I was there, that the idea of calling this a gotcha game and these are predatory practices did not start recently. This started from like the early days of video games in arcades, when they would say, insert another quarter to continue, insert $1 to continue. It would say, continue? Yes. Well, give me some money. So what happened was in the beginning, it would say continue. I'm like, oh, sure, I want to continue. Let me press the button. And they'd be like, give me another quarter. They'd be like, meh. And then what happened was they changed it to where it would actually tell you up front, this is how much money it will take to continue. Because what they used to do, okay, so here's what they did first. First they said, continue? Yes. Press a button. Oh, insert another quarter. Okay. Then they would do, continue? Yes. Put in a quarter. Okay, thank you. Put another quarter. What? Yes. Put another quarter. What? At least you could tell me this, and then they start telling you. So there's like three phases. Basically, what I'm saying is this stuff started in the 80s, okay, if not the late 70s. So they had to like, it's a gotcha game, predatory practice. Like, man, because even back then, people were like, is this like gambling when they do that? So what gets me is that, like I said, like I was there. I was there, so this isn't like, pre-internet. This wasn't like I heard it from somebody. People act like stuff is new. It's like, it's not new, man. It's like, this game's no different. But when you realize that, when you recognize it for what it is, then you have to say, okay, now, do I like it? Yeah, I like it. But also, same thing with cartoons in the 80s. I knew that when I was watching G.I. Joe, Transformers, Kamen Rider, a lot of these other cartoons, Gotcha Man, all that stuff, U.S. Battle of Planets, whatever, that when I was watching a lot of these cartoons, it was really a half-hour long commercial. I knew that. I knew they were trying to get me to buy a toy. I knew it. It wasn't like I didn't know, but I was more like, hey, if you're trying to sell me something, this is me being a little kid, being a little 10-year-old kid. I'm like, hey, you're trying to sell me something. At least entertain me. Which is the whole purpose of it, is to get you pumped up to buy the toy. That literally was the whole idea. I mean, they had psychologists working on a lot of those shows, like Thundercats and Transformers and G.I. Joe, all that stuff. They have people working on those, man. Like, how can we get kids to, you know what I mean? There's a whole psychology behind that stuff. I studied that in school as an illustrator, man. Sheesh, graphic design and stuff like that. There's a psychology of that stuff and color theory. That's what color theory is, man. that's yes. I took color. Yes, I know exactly what shape to draw and what color to use to get you to do whatever I want you to do. Yes, it's like that. Yes, there is a science to that. Yes, it works. I can guide your eye. I can tell you where to look. I can make your heart rate increase. Yes, I'm an expert at that. It's real. It's called subliminal seduction. It's a real thing. It's not BS. So I told my parents, I said, as you know, I play video games. Yes, we know. I've been spending my lunch money on this, and I was wondering if you could give me an extra $1 so that I could, or maybe like 50 cents or something like that, so I could like play my video game, and then and then they're like, yeah. And that's what I did, because the idea is like, okay, here's what happened. Before I asked them that, I actually stopped spending my lunch money on video games, because I'm like, this sucks. It was cool at the time, but when it came time to, I was like, this sucks. So what I'm saying is, I actually self-corrected as a little kid. So let's see, I'm trying to figure out how old I was. Let's see, I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, I was probably 6. Yeah. So I was like first, second grade. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like my parents had to talk to me like, hey, you have a blah, blah. But but they would give me money, They would, hey, here's some money, a video game, blah, 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 But usually, you only really had to give me like $5 or maybe even $1, because back then what we would do, the idea is, how far can you get just on a quarter? So it kind of forced you to be a better player, because you would limit your funds. And when you realize the pattern of video games, of that particular video game you were playing, that made it so much better. Spending like, $1,500, $2,000 for some characters. And it's not just this game. People do that in Star Citizen. Spend like $2,000, $3,000, $1,000, $500 on a ship. And I'm like, I think those guys have problems too. No, what, bro? I'm like, nah, you got a problem. I'm sorry. You crazy. And the thing about it is, it's not like someone could be like me, like, oh, you just say you can't afford it. Like, no, I would rather spend my money on other things. But, that's me. But I still say that if you're doing that, something's wrong with you. And I don't care. Yeah, and you're like, well, it's my money. It's like, sure, it's your money. Whatever, do what you want. But I think what really works is if somebody does that and they're getting paid to do it, or you can do a tax write-off. Now that's smart. So actually, there is a certain amount of context to that. Like if somebody had a YouTube channel and they're getting donations and they use their donations to do stuff like that, more power to you. But if you're like using money that you need, it's like the stock market. If you invest with money that you actually need, that may not be a good idea. You know what I mean? Of course, you know, there's inherent risk, but basically, if you're going to do it, you should be prepared. Like, just to be on the safe side, you can say, can I afford, and it may not happen, you know what I mean? But let's just say, like, there's a chance that you could either lose all of it or you don't make any money off of it. Are you comfortable with that? If the answer is yes, then go for it. But if you're not, then don't do it. That's my thinking, you know. What I'm interested in is some of the asteroid mining, because someone's going to do it. Like the first trillionaires are going to probably be working in space. I want in on that, man. Yeah. Freaking asteroid mining. Well, it's crazy. It's not that crazy. It's going to happen. Man, this moron is kind of hard to get to. Yeah, you dead. No, that's not cool. He should have died. That's BS. I don't know why they do that. It's like, dude, if you knock me into the water, you know, it's like, maybe it's all over for me. They shouldn't allow them to come back like that.
Submit. Your life is mine. Give up.
See how you just exploded like that? Yeah, that's, I don't really care about the battle, the damage numbers. All I care about is, hey, you're dead. Did he die fast? Yes. Whoa. Those guys are dead. Okay, everything's dead. Yeah, everything's dead. Yeah, that's what I care about. Those were the desired results. That's all I care about.
Witness my great undertaking.
Blood pays blood. Give up. Your life is mine. Don't waste my time.
He needs to know where he's going.
Come into being.
Give up. Give up. Your life is mine.
My parents actually paid for my school. They also paid for my housing, my apartment. And so my job, actually having a job, what that did for me, that helped me, that took care of my food, actually. You know, that you know, pretty much, you know, that actually got me my food. So everything else is paid for. I just had to worry about, just, you know, use whatever money I get. Yeah, I got to keep it. They weren't like, give us some of that money, bro. They're like, no, you keep that. You just use that for whatever, you know, go to the movies, get your coffee, buy your food, obviously. But what I was doing, I was spending all my money on art supplies because there's this one thing about stuff. It's like, well, you could buy really expensive things, but if you don't know what you're doing, it may not be a good idea to buy the most expensive thing. What you do is you wait till you get good enough to where that really expensive thing, what would be considered expensive, you could actually take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Because just because you have like really expensive things does not mean that you could utilize it. Again, going back to this game, just because I spent $2,000 to kit out a character in this game does not mean I'm good at the game. That's why I would like them to add PvP to this, because like in games like The Division, I can outthink people. That's how I kick people's butts in PvP. I can outthink you because you're relying on your gear, which is a bad idea. Because then you're like a one-trick pony, and if things don't go your way, you won't know what to do. And knowing about a game for me is, I know I have all the gear, and I know what they can do. I know their strengths and their weaknesses, and I can exploit that. Yeah, I can also I can exploit it to my own advantage, or I could exploit it to someone's disadvantage. That's the thing. And a lot of people, I told people, I'm like, dude, you should not play video games for like 5-6 years and just go play chess. Because you're like, why? Because you're not thinking. You're not using strategy. You're just thinking pew pew pew, and you're not thinking strategy. And because why am I dying? Because I've seen people that play games like this in World of Warcraft and stuff like that go into a game like The Division, which is a looter shooter, and get wrecked. And like some people literally start crying. I don't understand. I was farming for hours for that. These guys came up to me and just killed me in a second, and I don't understand why they just killed me. I'm like, because you thought that your gear was going to save you. Because I tell people, I'm like, oh, you think you get? Why don't you, why don't you come to the dark zone? I'll straighten you out, bruh. Most of the time, when someone kills me, which because I don't really die that much in that game, is when they sneak up on you. Like they just like go up to you, and or you're in the middle of a firefight with some NPCs, and they sneak in shots in between that. So you don't. Yeah, basically it's like that, but like Anyway, like you play a game like that, and you realize like, oh, I have to use my brain. I'm like, yeah, you have to use your freaking brain. You can't just like if I'm using a tactical fighter, like a tactician, I have deployable. Someone can jam my skills. So if I'm relying on my skills to do the damage, and someone jams them, I'm screwed. So I have to have other ways of dealing with that. And in the context of a situation like that, my stuff is made to where, one of my builds made to where if I shoot somebody, it causes a status effect. So even if you disable my skills, I can still bleed you out and blind you and stuff like that. And when my skills are back up, they'll keep doing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I have like 4 or 5 ways of killing you. And you can't disable all of them. So it doesn't matter. And I told somebody, they're like, oh, what should I use? I'm like, do people describe you as a sneaky little bastard? Yes. Well, you might want to consider this. Such and such. Whoa, what was that? That freaked me out. Yeah, so my thing is like, hey, play with things that complement the way you think. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, and so when people are like, oh, you got to do that in DPS, and then you have other things. You're like, people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand what DPS means. The way it's damage per second, not what you do when you crit something. It's like, how much damage are you going to do in a second? Well, no, my DPS is I do the 200,000. Like, no, that's what you crit it. You don't do 200,000 per second. If you did, game over. Like literally, the whole game is over. Like you beat the game, you don't do 200,000 per hit every second. You know what I mean? So it's like no, that's not no. At least not in this game. You don't. Excellent. You're all dead. That's all I really care about. Like these guys are about to all be dead. That's all that matters to me. I don't care. He's dead. He dead. I don't care. I don't care how much damage I did. He's dead. Does it really matter? No. It's like he dead. I don't know how many people there were. I just fired into them. I have no idea, but they're all dead. There you go. It's like, look at these guys. They're about to be dead. I don't care about the damage, but I know that they're going to die. They're dead. They've been deleted. Yes. Burnination. Like, how much damage do you do? I don't know. They dead. doesn't. It's like, how dead do they need to be? Like, he dead. You dead. There you go. That's how you do it. Look at this moron. Let me see if I can climb up here. Sometimes they don't let you climb up. Oh, he was already dead. Like this guy. Does it really matter how much damage I do when, you know he's going to die when he gets hit by this?
Retribution.
Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. He's dead. How much damage did you do? He's dead. Okay, cool. Is the character I'm using allowing me to play the content that I want to play? Yes. Like I have no problems doing everything in the game, so I have no complaints. I don't really, whatever. I don't really care. Kill that squirrel. Squirrel. That's what you get. You looked at me. Provoked me. Well, that's it for now. Random yammerings of an old man. Matinee.